Hi everyone. So today I just wanted to review Babygirl, which is a movie that I saw recently with my friend. I started writing my fan fiction again. And basically this movie is about this lady named Remy, played by Nicole Kidman. Y'all have seen the Babygirl gifs on Twitter. And then she is across from this male character whose name I've forgotten, played by Harris Dickinson. And to be honest, like the main reason why I wanted to watch this movie was because like I thought Harris Dickinson looked kind of hot like in the trailer. I mean, I guess he is pretty hot, like he does look kind of sexy, but like I feel like it was like the opposite of the mere exposure effect for me. But basically, the mere exposure effect is like kind of like the more you watch somebody or the more you interact with someone, parasocial tease, the more you like that person. And I feel like it was the opposite for me with Harris Dickinson in the movie because the more I saw him, the less I liked him. I just felt like he was really hot, like in the trailer, but like in the actual movie, like I didn't really get the vibes. Basically, the movie is basically like the trailer. It's basically about like this corporate lady, Remy, who gets into sort of an illicit extramarital relationship with an intern played by Harris Dickinson. But yeah, so it's basically about that. And there were a couple scenes in the movie that were kind of tea, I guess. There was a scene where Nicole Kidman goes into the hotel with Harris Dickinson, and then he gets her to like drink the milk off of the floor. And then like he gives her like an orgasm by like fingering her, I think. Baby girl, hashtag baby girl. So what is my review? I think basically my review is that like I feel like basically like I would give it like maybe a 5 out of 10, a 4 out of 10. I just felt like it wasn't that good. Like I just felt like without spoiling too much of the movie, I just felt like it was a little bit like disjointed, and it just kind of felt like maybe somewhere in the writing process or like in the filming process of the movie, like it kind of just felt like all the scenes were kind of like stuck together, you know? Like maybe in post-production or editing, and it just felt like it wasn't like thought through like as a general movie. And I saw this like video that was because I watch a lot of videos about making YouTube videos, and it was kind of like talking about how like it doesn't matter if the actors, the directors, the editors are really good. If the plot itself of the movie, the story of the movie isn't good, then the movie's not going to be good. And like I feel like this was kind of an example of that. Like the basic plot of the movie is corporate lady gets into extramarital relationship with intern. There's sort of like a power struggle of intriguing power dynamic, and that's it. Like the husband finds out about the affair, which like I feel like you could predict from the beginning of the movie that that's gonna happen. And that's like the main tea of the movie. Like but even like the part where like the husband finds out about their affair and he like gets into a fight with Harris Dickinson, like I feel like should be kind of like, you know, maybe the climax of the movie or one of the climaxes of the movie. Hashtag climax. But it just wasn't tea. Like I just felt like, you know, like that part of the movie where they fought, like it just kind of felt flat, and like that was kind of how I felt like for most of the movie. Like even the parts where it was supposed to be like a lot of sexual tension between Harris Dickinson and Nicole Kidman, I just really didn't feel like it had any emotional weight, like any of the kinky parts or any of like the sexual parts. Like, and it's not like all sexual parts like need to have emotion. Like in Eyes Wide Shut, like the other movie that Nicole Kidman is in, like I don't really remember that much about it, and I watched it kind of at a young age. I feel like I was like 13 or 14 when I saw Eyes Wide Shut. I feel like this movie is kind of like a sequel to that movie in the sense that it's like also hypersexual. But at least that movie had like a very like, you know, particular like aesthetic take to it. I felt like it at least like had like a very aesthetic point of view, which I think like even if a movie doesn't really have a plot or like even if a movie doesn't really have like a story, like the fact that it has like a, you know, aesthetic point of view, that could be something that goes for it, you know? But I just felt like this movie, like, it didn't even have like an aesthetic point of view. It didn't have like a point of view. It didn't have like an opinion on its characters. Like, this is a very like not tea critique either, but its characters just didn't really have like anything that, you know, was charismatic about it or that really made you want to root for the characters. Like, there's probably some kind of German philosophical word for it, but like, there was just no sense that, like, what's the word that I'm looking for? There's just no sense that you wanted anything for the characters. Like, what are these characters' motivations? Like, sure, they get into an affair, and maybe one of the motivations is that she wants sexual fulfillment, and maybe one of the motivations for the intern is that he wants career advancement. But you didn't even really get the sense that Nicole Kidman, got any sexual fulfillment. Like, maybe, sure, she had like this sort of flighty, like, curiosity about it. But I don't think that like, the perversity of the sexual escapades were deep enough for her to really get anything out of it. Like, that was my impression. And then for the intern, it was like, what does he really want from this? Like, it didn't really feel like he was getting anything out of it either. Like, sure, maybe he got some kind of weird, like, power, like, satiation from it. But, like, still, it was like, what's the point of this? Like, it didn't seem like he was trying to get any, like, you know, anything out of Nicole Kidman. Like it didn't even feel like he wanted to advance in the company or like it's not like he was even trying to like blackmail her or anything to like get anything out of the like his position in the company. And in the end of the movie he like ended up with some other girl. So it's not like he was that like emotionally like invested in this relationship either. Unlike like Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, it felt like he was going through the sexual escapades and Eyes Wide Shut because he like felt deeply like it felt like he wanted to reunite with his spouse in the end, which Nicole Kidman does too, like in Babygirl. But it felt like even the parallels between Babygirl and Eyes Wide Shut were kind of, you know, perfunctory on the director's part. Sorry, no shade. It didn't really feel like there was any point to the movie or like any, you know, point of view. That was my main takeaway. Like, it just felt like there was no perspective, no point of view, like, nothing that the film in particularly wanted to say other than Nicole Kidman needed some, or Remy, the character, needed some sexual fulfillment because she's like this robotic, like, AI company, you know. That was like the main metaphor of the movie, you know, that she was like this CEO of like an AI company, and maybe like because she's like doing like this AI line of work, and she has like sexual unfulfillment and is fulfilled. But even so, like, why? What is it about Harris Dickinson that makes her feel sexually fulfilled? There was nothing like in particular about him other than the fact that he's hot. And just because he's kinky or whatever doesn't mean that like she's gonna find sexual fulfillment in that. It just didn't really make any sense. Like, I walked out of the movie theater like feeling kind of puzzled and confused. And like both me and my friend were kind of like, you know, we didn't really understand like the movie. Like, we didn't really get what the point of the movie was. I just felt like I didn't really understand the movie. Like, and I don't feel like it's like a Wong Kar-wai movie where it's like I'm confused, but it's like I could tell that there was some thought that was being put into the movie that maybe like went over my head. Like no, like it didn't go over my head. It just made me feel like there was no point, and not in like a Dadaist way either. So yeah, I would give this movie a 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10. I left feeling very dissatisfied. This is another concept that I learned like through watching a lot of YouTube videos about how to make YouTube videos too, is like you want your like viewers to feel satisfied, like they felt like they got something out of the movie. And I just left feeling very dissatisfied. Like I just felt like, like I didn't get anything out of this movie. Like there was no purpose to it. Like the purpose was just to show this sexual relationship between Harris Dickinson and Nicole Kidman in hopes that it would be titillating to audiences, to younger audiences, and to like maybe middle-aged older audiences too. Yeah, it was giving incel, it was giving flat, it was giving no point of view. So I feel like this review was kind of harsh too, especially from someone who's not really like a film major or like a filmmaker. But still, I'm just the average viewer, okay? This is just my point of view coming from someone who is like an average viewer, like an average person. And I just didn't really like it. And my friend also said he didn't really understand the movie, so that's like another added point of view. So yeah, this was my review of Babygirl. Let me know if you also saw Babygirl, if you also have any reactions to the movie. But yeah, like, comment, and subscribe as always. Thanks for watching. Okay, signing off now. Bye.